This is Data Jockey, machine learning for Victorian racing. Today I am looking at Race 8, Flemington, Saturday 18 July 2026. Straight into it. Here is what the model is saying about Race 8 at Flemington in brief. Two selections on the board. Banker's Choice carries the place selection, the model's strongest read for this race. St. George sits in the same race multi only as the top four leg. So the short version, Banker's Choice to place, multi combining both for the value angle. Worth staying for the full breakdown though, because this race has some genuinely interesting detail behind it, and the reasoning matters more than the headline. 13 runners in Race 8 at Flemington today, with the top 3 paying a place dividend. Right away the model is flagging something worth your attention. Its top selection is not the market favorite. That signals the model has found value the market is underpricing, which is the exact situation this approach is built to identify. Two selections today, a place pick plus a same race multi-option combining both. As always, no forced selections here, only genuine value gets a tip, and today the data clearly supports two. That is a meaningful signal in itself, given how often the model finds nothing worth covering at all. Let us break them down properly. Before I get into the picks, a quick word on how this works, because it is genuinely different to anything else you will find in the tipping space. The selections come from a machine learning model that continuously learns from Victorian racing results. Every single race meeting, every result, every finishing position feeds back into it. This is not a set-and-forget system. It is live, it is learning, and it gets sharper with every race run in Victoria. Now here is the part that really sets it apart. Most tipsters, most models out there are chasing the winner. I made a completely different call. This model was built from the ground up to find place finishers, horses that hit the top positions and pay a place dividend. That is a fundamentally different problem to finding the winner, and it demands a completely different approach. The model weighs up dozens of variables across the entire field at once. Things that interact with each other in ways that no human analyst could ever track manually. Pace, distance, field composition, historical patterns, how each horse matches up against these specific rivals on this specific day. All of it simultaneously. That is the power of building it this way. If you want to go deep on the methodology, how the model was actually built, what it looks at, how it was trained, the link is in the description below. Check it out when you get a chance. But for today, I have got Race 8 to get through, and the model has some strong opinions. Let us get into the picks. First selection for Race 8, Banker's Choice, the model's top pick, currently 5th in the market. Not the favorite, not the one getting the market's attention, just quietly priced at a level the model strongly disagrees with. That disagreement is the entire reason this selection exists. Worth being honest with you here, because I think it earns more trust than it costs. There is no single tidy explanation for why the model has chosen Banker's Choice. It genuinely does not work that way. It is not pointing to one factor, a good record at Flemington, a preferred distance, the usual form guide reasoning. That single factor thinking is what most tipping relies on, and it is exactly what this model avoids. Instead, it is weighing dozens of variables together, all at once: track conditions, distance, field composition, the specific rivals in this race, patterns drawn from thousands of past Victorian races. All of that simultaneously, picking up relationships a person simply cannot track by eye. That is deliberate. If the reasoning could fit in one sentence, the model would be redundant. Here is what actually matters. The market has Banker's Choice priced at 5th in the market. The model ranks it first for Race 8. That gap between market price and model confidence is the value, and finding it is the model's entire purpose. It was built around place finishers specifically, not winners, so a top ranking here means this horse matches the historical pattern of horses that land in the places. A genuinely different lens to standard form analysis. Banker's Choice for the place, top 3 finish in a 13-runner field. That is the model's read for Race 8. For entertainment purposes only, please make your own informed decision before placing any bet. St. George, currently 3rd in the market, takes pick 2, a genuinely different kind of selection to pick 1, so it is worth being clear on the distinction. The model rates St. George as a likely top 4 finisher, but it stops short of backing a top 3 finish specifically. That gap matters. There is not enough support in the data for a standalone place selection here, but there is solid support for the top 4 role in the same race multi. That distinction might sound minor, but in a 13-runner field, it genuinely is not. Top 3 pays a place dividend, 4th does not. So the model is not recommending St. George as a place bet by itself. The same race multi is where it earns its spot. What the model is essentially saying about St. George is that it belongs in this race and fits the top 4 profile for this field, but a top 3 finish is less certain. For the multi, top 4 is all that is required. Banker's choice in top 3, St. George in the top 4, that is the model's combination for race 8. For race 8, the same race multi combines Banker's choice finishing top 3 with St. George finishing in the top 4. Check your own wagering provider for whether this market is offered. Worth pausing on one point before moving on, these two bets are not equivalent, and they do not share the same probability of success. The standalone place selection on Banker's choice is the model's higher confidence read, a smaller return, but a meaningfully better chance of it actually landing, and that remains the model's central view for this race. The same race multi requires both legs to come through, Banker's choice in top 3, St. George in the top 4, which reduces the overall probability but increases the potential payout if it does land. Taking both is optional, not required. Banker's choice alone carries the model's strongest signal. The multi is there for those drawn to the longer odds, higher return option. Either way, understand exactly what each bet needs before deciding. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please make your own informed decision. Following along with the full card today, every race has its own video, all sitting in the playlist, uploaded before race 1 kicks off. Worth checking the other races to see which selections line up with your approach. Some punters like to combine several of the models' picks into a place multi. Your wagering provider will have the details on how that works. Always make your own informed call before placing anything. One more important point, check for scratchings before you bet on anything. They happen on race morning and can change a race completely. For race 8, the model's place selection is Banker's choice. The rest of the card is sitting in the playlist if you want to keep going. If you have not subscribed yet, this runs for every Victorian meeting, every race day, completely free. Race 8 at Flemington, all wrapped up. The headline, Banker's choice for the place, and Banker's choice top 3 with St. George top 4 as the same race multi if the longer odds option appeals to you. Every selection gets tracked publicly, with results posted weekly, no exceptions and no cherry-picking, win streaks or losing runs alike. That is the only honest way to judge this model over time, and it is on you to make that call. For entertainment purposes only, as always, please make your own informed decisions and gamble responsibly. See you next race.